Your owl ready?
Yes, it is now.
This meeting has been preceded by advance notice and hereby declared an open session. A copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted on the wall in the back of the room. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kathy or Miles, please call the roll.
Mr. Armstrong,
Present.
Mr. Hobbs,
Here.
Mr. Horn,
Here.
Mr. Ord,
Here.
Mrs. Peterson,
Here.
Mrs. Van Way.
I'll go first. Kind of a busy kind of like last month. We did our NSCAS state testing for 7th and 8th graders at the high school. And then I had our ACT as well up there for the juniors. We MAPS tested everybody else that was not NSCAS tested or MAPS tested, or ACT, sorry. We had our FFA banquet. Had their new officers inducted. We took Mrs. Burgess and myself took the 8th graders to Beloit to NCK Tech. They have an 8th grade day. I think there were 328th graders from basically Red Cloud in Kansas. I think we were the only Nebraska school there, but took us in just groups around and looked at all the different majors and different programs they have, and then it was I thought it was a really good opportunity for our kids to kind of get exposed to some of that. It was I'd never been through their facility, so it was a good opportunity, I thought, for those 8th graders. We had our conference track and golf meet. I believe, I don't know, I can't give you just specifics. I know the junior high boys got second, I think, in conference, and I think our golfers also got second in conference. So darn Lawrence Nelson, they're good. We had our home junior high track meet here last Tuesday. Well, we were supposed to have it Tuesday, got rained out. Everybody I talked to said, hey, we'd really like to come down. So we went on Thursday, caught a really nice day, and everybody was able to come except for Franklin, and had a good track meet. Spring concert, Dr. Boyd had her crew, high school, junior high, elementary, junior high, high school, and I thought they did a good job with them. Definitely seen a lot of improvement, at least, on our end in terms of the band. The junior high kids have come a long way over the year. The greenhouse, Mrs. Ely, they had their greenhouse sale. I think sold a lot of stuff over there. Baccalaureate, thanks to Jeff, came up and kind of officiated it for us, and it was a good Sunday for our seniors. The senior they did their senior trip to where'd they go? Ashland to Mahoney State Park, did some zip lining and that obstacle course thing. It was kind of fun. Elementary fun day. Amy will talk more about that, but our crew came down and helped with it. District track and state track. Zach Cepeda was our district track qualified in both hurdles. Got in on a fastest third on both of them, but I don't know, was sitting middle of the pack in both. So if he could catch a good day, then I don't think there's any reason he couldn't make the finals. So Zach's had a really nice hurling season. It's kind of been the highlight of the track crew this year. So it's good for Zach to qualify. It's a good win for him. We had Rise Up Leadership game night. Had the junior high came in and they just played games one night. They were going to have a dance or a movie or something, and they decided let's just play games. So they played cards and they played checkers and they played cornhole and just kind of had a fun game night. The Booster Club put on a senior breakfast for our seniors down at the Bricks. It was a first time we've done that. I think it was a good day. I just stopped in quick, but I know several people in the room I can see were there, so I think it was a good opportunity for them. And with that too, Mrs. Gusick, before when she was teaching, she always had the 7th graders write a letter to themselves as seniors, and so she's got 1 or 2 more years before her seniors are all gone, but she still brings those letters back and then feeds them she usually does breakfast, but I think since the Booster Club fed them breakfast, she fed them lunch. And then they open up their letters and read about their future selves. Pretty fun. Yeah, it's a neat little project she did with them. And I read some of them. I know Caden Trues basically was like, well, you know, when I'm a senior by this time, I will be in the Marines and this and that. I'm like, felt like he knew where he was heading when he was a 7th grader. But anyway, just a neat deal she does. Okay. District Golf is gone today. They're up at Indian Head at Grand Island, trying to get a bid to state next week. Teacher Staff Appreciation Week. Thank you to everybody that was involved with that, with all the goodies and everything we had in the break rooms. We had Honors Night. I thought we had a good turnout. Our kids are very involved, very busy, and it was a good night to showcase that. Graduation was Saturday. Thought it went well as well. And then that's about it. Last day of school is the 19th. So I'm sure I might have missed something there, but
I don't think so.
that's what we've been up to.
Thank you.
Pretty busy this time of year, so mine reflects a lot of the same thing that we completed the NSCAS and MAPS testing down here. NSCAS is 3rd through 6th, and MAPS is 1st and 2nd. We also completed the Acadians, which is not on there, but that's basically reading and math only. And we got that finished up last week. Teacher Appreciation Week was last week. Again, thank you so much for the things that you all did, and so many people from the community have contributed also. We very much appreciate that. The teachers and the staff all enjoyed that. I completed the Targeted Improvement Plan, which is about specific to the special education piece of our improvement. And so that's due May 1st, and I finished that up. We, of course, had field day, which also were fortunate. We kept worrying about the weather, not sure what the rain would do. Ends up it was a pretty nice day. Kids worked through it, and we got that off the board, and the kids really love field day. We had preschool graduation on Tuesday. We've been in the gym. Jason and I have been in the gym. Mr. Hoff been in the gym every night. So Tuesday was the night we did preschool graduation. Also, we did awards night, and my piece of awards night is presenting the presidential award, which means you have to have a 90% or better throughout your, in my case, K through 9 or K through 6. And so I had 93% of our 6th graders had a 90% or better. So I think that says a lot about our school, about our kids, and what we've got coming up for some talent. Of course, also the spring concert, Mrs. Boyd or Dr. Boyd did a great job again.
I just wanted to see if it was
All right, great. Fun that
Echo.
fun that we always have some kind of a theme. I think she does a really great job with that. The kids seem to enjoy it. They seem happy, and that's what we want for music. Again, just all of those things. One of my favorite pieces of graduation week, though we are in the gym every night, it seems like we roll that tarp down and then we just take advantage of those chairs in that gym and that tarp. But my favorite is baccalaureate, and I just really love that we still do that. And that's just one of my favorite nights of that whole week. Gets me really inspired to get through the rest of the week. This week, we still have one more group going off to Water Jamboree tomorrow. Otherwise, all of our kids have gone on field trips. We have visited the Hastings Museum, Stewart Museum, Pioneer Village, and they went to Sac Air Force Base and Hunter's Cave, or is it Robbers Cave? Robbers Cave. So those are some of the field trips that we went on this year. And still 5th and 6th will go to Water Jamboree. I have some training signed up for that last week where teachers are still under contract. We'll have a science training to wrap up any questions they still have about our science curriculum. And we'll have some teachers are going to an autism training. So Friday will be the last day for students with a 1 o'clock dismissal, and the last day for staff is the 26th. So that's my report.
Good, thank you, Amy. Brian.
At the high school with the new building, it's moving forward. A little bit of concrete as we go along each time they form it up for it, and then they gotta wait until the next section. Where we're at now is they got a little bit more footings to do, and then, after that, the floor will go in. So once the floor goes in and cures for a day or two, they say it's gonna take about a week and you'll see the whole building up. So once it really starts with the metal, it's gonna go and it'll go fast. On the finance side, usually about this time, I start talking about budget for next year. Can't really talk about it at all because the legislature hasn't made a decision on anything. If you go to the State Department of Ed, in January, they put out potential state aid numbers to us and potential, all these other potential numbers when they run different formulas. That page is vacant now. It's empty. They've scraped everything off and said, we can't give you anything until the legislature makes a decision. So right now, I got nothing to give you as far as budget wise, other than, I can do it based on last year, but it's not gonna do it. So, we wait until they have about, 15 days left for the legislature, that they're gonna force through probably 200 bills as fast as they can. In the education committee, they've got 17, I wanna say, bills that they have put underneath it what they're calling an omnibus bill. So they created a new one called LB 705. All the other bills that they say are non-controversial, they say are non-controversial. Not everybody else, but they say are underneath that, and they're trying to pass it as one bill. Some of those bills, until they jam them under there, I think most people never even read a lot of them. So it was like, so it'll be interesting to see. One of them is a bill that says that you can't suspend a kindergartner through second grade. Really doesn't affect us. My fear on that one is you get to Lincoln and Omaha without allowing principals to suspend a kindergartner through second grade. They've got some different cats there. As far as kids, I think you're gonna see a lot more law enforcement involved, because if you can't suspend them, what else can you do? Other, if you punch a teacher, if you do, so I think there's gonna be some unintended consequences when they go too fast and don't do it the way the process should be. Otherwise, it's really the state aid formula and how they're gonna fund schools. There's really one main one that comes out that says that we'll receive a minimum state aid of $1,500 per kid, which is pretty much where we're at right now. If it goes through in its final format, it's really not gonna help us or hurt us. We gain a lot of funding from our option enrollment from the Guide Rock kids. We get that option where they opt into our school district. With this new formula, we wouldn't get that, so it's gonna be basically a wash. And then there's another section in there that says that, or another bill that says that homeschool kids can only take one class and still participate in our sports, which is much better than what they wanted, which was they don't have to take any classes. And the reason that we have an issue with that from the public school standpoint is that they need to be held to some accountability as far as what our kids do, as far as their grades and whatnot. And if there's no requirements on homeschool families, you really don't know. So it just gives a check and balance and kind of makes it a little bit more fair for our kids. They were going to have a option bill in there that I think they've since taken out on Friday that said that opting, you could basically, right now it is, you can opt into another school once during your career unless you move your residence. They had a bill in there that said that you can opt as many times as you want, and no school can say no. The problem with that was that if you're a kid, and I'll use Lincoln and Omaha as a really good example, you could go to West Side for basketball, come back, go to Bellevue for football, and go to, another school for another. You can chase the sport basically, which makes it really difficult for NSAA. Doesn't like it. Most schools don't like it because you're going to end up with all-star teams, in those Omaha areas. Even with the small schools, you end up with that. So I think that got removed out of there. And I think the other thing that came down was that I think NSAA finally stood up and said, hey, wait a minute. How can you pass a bill that affects only one private entity? Because the NSAA is not run by the state. It's a private entity all by itself, funded by outside of the school. So I don't know how they can legally come out and say, it'd be like coming out saying, well, Ord Farms can only do this, or Armstrong Farms can only do this. Well, you aren't doing that with everybody else. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of the legislature, but as a whole, we don't know. But they kind of put all their eggs in one basket saying it's gonna be under the omnibus bill, which is 17 bills under one heading. So we'll see. But as soon as I have stuff, I'll bring it to you as soon as I can. Mhm.
Okay, thanks, Brian. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. Do we have a second?
A second.
Any discussion? Miles, please call the vote.
Mr. Armstrong,
Yes.
Mr. Hobbs,
Yes.
Mr. Horn,
Yes.
Mr. Ord,
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Wayne.
Yes.
Okay, request by the public to speak. Jill and Hannah. You're up.
Okay, I'll come sit here so I'm not looking at the bowl. Okay, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Jill King. You probably remember I came earlier in the fall as the lunch advocate to kind of be a sounding board for parents, and then with Mr. Hoff, and working with some of the other staff. But here I'm to talk about the Booster Club. And a couple months ago, the Booster Club met and we're kind of doing a revamp of the Booster Club. And so I'm going to just read from kind of our overall mission statement, and then we also have 5 committees that we are kind of focusing on as our cores of Booster Club, and how that's going to incorporate and how we're hoping to not only revamp the Booster Club, but also be inclusive of not just the sports, but other activities as well, whether it's speech, drama, different things like that. So the Booster Club plays a vital role in supporting the students and staff at Red Cloud. From fundraising activities to purchasing equipment for our school, we are committed to providing the necessary resources to help our students and staff reach their full potential. Our mission statement is the Red Cloud Booster Club is committed to supporting all student athletics programs and activities in the school district by promoting positive school spirit and providing financial support needed to achieve excellence. We will strive to maintain high standards of scholarship, integrity, and good sportsmanship in all school activities. We want to emphasize that we are here for for all groups, teams, and activities, not just sports. The 5 committees that we have are membership and communication, fundraising, school spirit events, and the PTA committee. The Membership and Communications Committee has a variety of responsibilities, including creating membership forms, collecting and managing dues, communicating with the school administration to align Booster Club goals and ideas, creating membership programs, and crafting newsletters and social media posts to keep members informed and engaged. The Fundraising Committee is responsible for planning and coordinating fundraisers, as well as managing requests from school faculty for items that can improve their classroom, teams, or activities. It's important to note that this committee doesn't have to conduct all fundraising efforts alone. Instead, they will work and organize and facilitate the fundraisers while asking for volunteers from the Booster Club and community to assist with the events. The School Spirit Committee plays a vital role in fostering a sense of unity and pride within the school community. To achieve this, the committee will stay in close contact with each activity sponsor or coach to ensure all upcoming events and needs are communicated effectively. Additionally, they organize and promote various school spirit events, such as tailgate parties, pink night activities, homecoming kickoff, with the aim of creating an inclusive and enthusiastic environment. Through these efforts, the committee strives to enhance school spirit and bring together students, faculty, and staff in a fun and engaging way. The Events Committee works to organize social activities and events that offer all students and families a chance to connect, bond, and develop positive relationships. This can be done through a wide range of interests such as sports events, movie night, bowling, yard games, and even an adult prom. The committee managed all the logistics to the event, such as scheduling bus drivers and sponsors, setting up equipment, and communicating with the school and families. The 5th one, the PTA, and not to be confused with Parent-Teacher Association, but more a parent-teacher advocate, is to support all the students and staff in the Red Cloud School. We will serve as a forum for parents and teachers to discuss education-related topics and address any concerns they may have. Its primary goal is to create a collaborative partnership between parents, teachers, the school, administration, and to enhance the learning experience and well-being of the students. We encourage all parents, legal guardians, teachers, staff, board members, and administration of the Red Cloud schools to be a part of this committee. And just so you guys are aware, the heads of each committee, Rachel Olson is communications and membership, Whitney Rust is fundraising, Stacy Helt is school spirit, Stacy Feynman is events, and then I am the head of the PTA. And I just wanted to come and talk to you guys about this. If you guys were at awards nights, you probably heard Jessica Krelowitz talk about it, but I just want to keep trying to push out that information of the Booster Club and the revamping, and also the 5 different committees that we have. So if you guys are ever in need of something, or if someone brings you something that maybe you're not for sure what to do with, we invite them to come to us, and like myself as the parent teacher advocate, to be that sounding board and either to get more information, bring it to the school board if needed, or to Mr. Hoff or Mr. Held or Mrs. Dahlman, whoever it may be, but just have one more resource that's outside of, again, someone who's not as directly involved and may have all the extra background, and someone fresh that can look at it in a completely different way and provide that information, or again, say, okay, are you just venting, or do we need to possibly do something about it? Like I will use as an example, I know it's come up of the time of the board when you guys meet. I have heard different things about that, and I think one of the main reasons possibly that it has come up a few times is because I know in the beginning of the year, it was, I think some of the internet wasn't working, or it wasn't coming through on Facebook, those that wanted to watch. And then there was one at noon, a couple at 7 a.m. and at 7 p.m. So I think it's more of just those that do want to come or want to watch it back live. In the beginning of the year, it was kind of hard because I don't know if it was the internet connection or the OWL or whatever it was. But I think that was just kind of some of the, we want to come, and I don't mind coming at 7 a.m. in the morning. It's just I have to, just like you guys, have family, kids, and have to change our schedules. But that is just an example of different things like that. So, but I am open to any questions that you guys may have about the Booster Club. And if I don't know, I can take it back to the Booster Club committee and I can get back to you. But I just wanted to talk about that today.
There's a lot of information.
It is. And we will meet monthly too, and we will post when we will meet, and we definitely welcome any board committee member to come and just again hear some of the stuff that we're working on. Of course, we did the senior breakfast, teacher appreciation week, we did the nacho bar for the teachers, for elementary staff, and the junior, senior high school. We have a lot of other great ideas and things that we want to do going into next year. So I think it'll be really, really good.
Go ahead and mention, Jill, some of the things that you've put in the school over the last year. I know you've got quite a few things.
I know the mats over at the high school, the backdrop, the tablecloth. I'm trying to think what else. The basketball. Mhm. So those are just some, and again, I think a lot of those things happen and it's not really known like where that comes from, but that was, part of the Booster Club. And I know too, one of the things like with the parent teacher advocate, if there's something that maybe a teacher is needing for the classroom that maybe is not within budget or parameters or whatever it may be, that we welcome, teachers to see if maybe there's something that we could help with that would be beneficial for their students or themselves as teachers too. So,
Great, thank you.
thank you.
Yes, thanks.
You two you're more than welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. We've got a couple of exciting action items, but if you want to go.
Want to go home, go back to bed? That's okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Approval of minutes from previous meetings.
I move to approve the minutes from the previous meetings.
Any discussion? Miles, please call the vote.
Mr. Hobbs,
Yes.
Mr. Horn,
Yes.
Mr. Ord,
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Mrs. Vanway,
Yes.
Mr. Armstrong.
Yes.
I move to approve the District 2 Building Fund Depreciation Fund and all the regularly occurring claims.
Any discussion about those? Anybody see anything they want to talk about?
The only main thing is that we always have that in
regularly occurring claims because we're so early in the month.
In the
So
month.
if we have a, like Great Plains comes in every month, that's what you guys are approving there. It's those regular ones. If it's something fresh and new you've never seen before, we'll wait until next month.
What was co-measure? What was that?
Oh, yeah, rebar for up at the high school.
Oh, okay, that was kind of one that was different and
We
new.
were able to, well, Ron was able to get it through Gary a lot cheaper than he was going through all those other sources.
Okay.
Shocker that right in town's the cheapest place we can get it. Would like to hear that.
Yes, it is. I was just trying to think, where do we have this livestock that we're, that we're feeding?
No, it's reinforcement for concrete.
Thank you.
Anything else that anyone see? Did we have a second?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Miles, please call the vote.
Mr. Horn,
Yes.
Mr. Ord,
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Mrs. Vanway,
Yes.
Mr. Armstrong,
Yes.
Mr. Hobbs.
Yes. I'll move to accept the financial report. Do we have a second? I'll second. Any discussion on that one? Miles, please call the vote.
Mr. Ord,
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Mrs. Vanway,
Yes.
Mr. Armstrong,
Yes.
Mr. Hobbs,
Yes.
Mr. Horn.
Yes.
Committee reports. Do any committees have anything? I don't have anything. A report. Okay, board communications. I got 3 thank yous here. Thanks a bunch. School board members, thank you for the lunch. Coffee, waffles, and pastries. Everything was wonderful. Some men from the goal. Red Cloud Board and Administration, thank you for spoiling us teachers this past week. We work for a fabulous district, and I want to show my gratitude for being so thoughtful. Stay tuned. And special thanks to you. Oh, wow. A whole bunch of people signed this one. Kind hearts of gardening, kind thoughts of roots, kind words of the flowers, kind deeds of the fruits. Thinking of you and giving thanks for the wonderful person you are. Thanks for treating us this week. And that's, I'll just pass this one out. All right, that's it. Good.
And I just want to comment, they sound dumb, but I always feel kind of guilty because we get thank you, but it's usually like those two over there and that do all the work and then we all get thank yous for it. So I want to thank you guys, really. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you didn't come in and help make waffles this
Oh,
year.
I did. I forgot about the waffles.
Or you must
I don't know.
not,
They were good.
you must not have needed me
There may still be some waffle batter in the fridge up there that might want to stay away from. 'Cause
then. But thank you guys, really.
And Avery and Brian won't down either.
See, you just don't know until you bring it up who all was involved.
Yeah, thanks for doing that. Good stuff. Okay. Action items. Action item 13A. Approved certified contract for business teacher. Ryan.
All right, Mr. Helt and Mrs. Dahlman we've been advertising for a while, and since we knew about it for a business teacher right now. We've gotten some applicants, but I can tell you, like, one of them would definitely get us arrested. Do a Google search, you know why? I mean, there's a reason he's not teaching elsewhere. So we kind of brainstormed a lot and went through everything we possibly could. Mr. Helt had a great idea that we had other really good applicants for Kathy's position when she's retiring, and he reached out to them. They have business degrees, and you have a business degree, would you be willing to add a teaching endorsement onto that? Which is probably the easiest way to convert from a regular degree to teaching is if you already have it. Like, you're an art degree, be an art teacher, that kind of thing. You can't be an art teacher and want to be a business teacher. You can, but it's easier. So he reached out to Bailey Lewis, who is one of our amazing candidates there. Oh, excuse me, formerly known as Bailey Lewis, now Bailey James. Thank you.
I didn't even catch that either.
And Mr. Helt, you want to talk about how that went?
yeah, I did. We advertised for a business teacher, and I don't believe we had any applicants. We did put out the possibility of like AD if someone was interested in being an AD/business teacher. We did get a couple. Did we get 2 or 3? 2 or 3.
We got 3.
3 applicants on that. 2 of them basically took other jobs or after talking to us weren't as interested as they originally were. The third one we did interview out of coming up out of Kansas, and then I'd also at some point in there had reached out to Bailey and basically said, "Hey, would you have any interest in teaching?" And anyway, in the process, the applicant from Kansas took a job in a parochial school down there. He's retirement age and took another job around that area. And I don't know, talked to Bailey a couple times, and yeah, was pretty interested. And so we'll be doing the transition program through UNK. Wendy McCartney is the head of that department up there, and we've worked with her with several people and have got everything up to her. And I guess I feel like Bailey's someone who's in our community that knows our kids and is here, and if she's willing to do it, I think this thing shakes. I think it's a great candidate and is going to do a good job. She's come up and shadowed Mrs. Shore a couple times and talked to her, and so yeah, I'm excited.
And we're asking that you approve her contract on the condition
Yeah.
that she obtains a teaching certificate, so that, because there's a few hoops she has to go through before that. It's the same thing we did with Mr. Schultz when he did his transition. So I just took the same wording from his to this one.
Is that the only other one we've done?
That didn't have a teaching degree yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I thought we had a couple.
No, we had some that were converting from one to another, but they already had a teaching degree.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little bit different where we didn't have to do a condition. They had a degree, or the teaching board.
Is Mrs. Boyd transitional?
No, hers is a different one.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah. With her doctorate, that made a difference.
No. Okay.
So,
Doctor.
Also moved to approve the contract with the condition that she obtains her teaching certificate.
A second.
Any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Wayne,
Yes.
Mr. Armstrong,
Yes.
Mr. Hobbs,
Yes.
Mr. Horn,
Yes.
Mr. Horton.
Yes.
I think it's always good if we keep somebody local, somebody sincere. It goes a little bit to your speech up there. Bring the kids home.
Yeah. Great idea, you guys. Nice job.
and I think it says something about our district as a whole, if you've got staff members that would, and I don't know how that conversation went in their family, but when they've got another that works for the school, if there was a problem in the school, I don't think you let her daughter work here. So that's kind of a good sign on our school.
Hey. Action item number 13B, art teacher contract.
We had, got reached out to by a gentleman named Chris Getter. Okay, because I butchered his name when we talked to him the other day, so I didn't want to do that again. He is formerly the art teacher down at Smith Center. He was down there for about 8 years. Created a really nice program down there. He took a little bit of time off to do a little traveling, and then in that process, he was adjunct faculty teaching at Hastings College in a little bit in art and a little bit in history. So he has a master's degree, math, I don't know if it's art, education. Really a great gentleman, really nice guy. I talked to the administration of Smith Center. They had nothing but amazing things to say about him. Made an offer to him after we met. We don't have a contract written yet because we made it really fast. But as of last night, he talked to Mrs. Dahlman, gave a verbal that he would accept the position here. Also sent me a text saying that he was, happy to come down here. So he does have 8 years of experience, and similar to what we did with Mrs. Schroer, we're asking for the board to approve beyond the 5 years automatic for experience coming in. When you do that, the motion would be to approve the contract with Chris Getter for the art position with 8 years experience pending the approval from the association, because the Teachers Association also has to approve that. And they said they could have that done very quickly. So.
Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Mhm.
So we'll move I'll move. Then verbally say. all of
No,
that.
No, that's how you say it.
Yeah, I can give it to him.
Yeah, all of that, Miles. Brian says. Hopefully, we will get that there. Do you have a second? Any further discussion? Okay, Miles, please call the vote.
Mrs. Benio, Mr. Armstrong,
Yes.
Mr. Hobbs,
Yes.
Mr. Horn,
Yes.
Mr. Ord.
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson.
Yes.
Okay, action item number 13C, approved rehiring classified staff for the 23-24 school year.
Traditionally, it's very symbolic, but we rehire the current classified staff just to let them know they've got a job here. I mean, and for those of you that are new, I kind of put it in there that all of our classified staff are at-will employees like any other employee in the state of Nebraska. Because we give them a work agreement, if something bad happens, that does not mean that we can't terminate. I mean, they're at will, they can be terminated for any reason at any time. We don't do that typically unless it's something really bad. But the other thing is that it also doesn't mean that if somebody's doing a really good job throughout the year or they take on additional responsibilities that they can't get a pay increase along the way as well. So they're kind of, the classified are kind of in flux. We try to set their salaries with everybody else at the beginning of the year, and typically that's kind of where it stays. But with staffing shortages where it is, we may have to tweak some staff and have them do some things differently, or they do more, they may do less. So it's kind of one of those that kind of, a lot of that responsibility that's classified comes back to the building administrator and myself. But as a whole, we traditionally rehire them. We don't have to approve their salaries this year necessarily because earlier board meeting, you already approved them 3% along with everybody else increasing them. So I would just ask that you rehire the current classified staff officially.
I would move to rehire the classified staff.
Any further discussion? Miles, please call the vote.
Mr. Armstrong,
Yes.
Mr. Hobbs,
Yes.
Mr. Horn,
Yes.
Mr. Ord,
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Was that?
Mrs. Van Wood.
Yes. Instead of abstaining.
I know, right?
Okay, any discussion items anybody has?
Hey, just so you know, Val just leaned over, told me this is the first year he has not
Second year.
abstained. Or second year, abstained.
Oh, yeah, congratulations, Val.
Yeah.
We're still not happy with that. So he finally gets the vote.
I am. You'd be amazed how much help she is at home, so.
Has she gotten her 3% raise in the last year?
She might be watching.
Okay. Any discussion items? Anybody have anything? Okay. We will confirm the next meeting date.
The 19th is the latest you can go.
May I ask to be excused then? Helping in DC.
Well, we don't have to have it on the 19th. That's just the latest.
Well, I'll be gone for about a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably not gonna go out for one day.
I realize, but I didn't.
Sorry.
So you'll be done the 12th as well?
I'll be gone the 12th of the week.
Okay.
So-
There. See?
So I'm asking for it to be excused.
Oh, yeah.
The 19 works for me. I think for Miles and Kathy, it's a lot easier too, so.
Yeah, I don't see anything. Anybody else got anything? Time, we should be able to do an evening again. 6, 7, I don't care. 7, 9. 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
Days are gonna be pretty long. It's about almost the longest day of the year, so.
Yeah.
7 p.m. here.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks.
Jeff, your flashlight's on.
Hey, before everybody leaves,